Hey guys. So next part of this is a continuation of the Orbweaver joystick modification series. So next up is actually the scary part. It's easy, but it's scary, and it's one of the reasons why I charge so much to do these, because you do have to cut these guys up. So thus far, up to this point, we've got this joystick wired to that teensy. We've gone through that. Watch previous videos if you want to see how. The next part is this module here and its opening. This is where the D-pad came out of previously, and right now it's too small to fit this guy by just a little bit. So I'll just talk about this piece. This is the cover plate with cat hair all over it. That's gross. Sorry, buddy. I'll clean that off with some alcohol before I send it. But this is one of the original Orbweavers that had a metal screw plate. Current ones that I've worked on have a thin plastic film, which in some ways is easier. For this part, it's easier because since this is metal, it also has to be cut. And the easiest way to do that is just to put it back and peel it back off. So that's why it's kind of lame, because it can be difficult. So I'm not gonna like glue it. I'm just gonna let it kind of stick with its own residue lightly back in place. And that's where this fella goes. Right there. So he sits there and hides those screws so you don't see them. But this opening has to be cut the same as the plastic beneath it. So the idea is that this will come up through here. And you see it's just barely too big to go through. So what we want to do, actually let me orient it correctly. So when I program these, I program it so that the button, the switch, is up, so to speak. So we want to orient this, otherwise we'll be doing nasty code to fix the axes. We want to orient this so that it's up. And you see I'm going to be cutting little notches. If I can hold this and do this with two hands. I'm going to be cutting little notches. Just getting a pointer. Hold on. There we go. This is little notches. I'm on now. Like, there we go. You want to get that post centered in that hole as much as you can. And then you're going to cut notches into the side here so that this potentiometer can kind of fit through. So a little indentation there. And then the same for this guy. Right there. Oop, I can't even get my point around it for this guy right there. So you're going to have a little square cut out there, and a little square cut out there-ish, so that this can fit all the way through. It doesn't look super pretty, but luckily the hat, once it goes on top, hides a lot of that, and you have this stick that's fully functional that sticks out. It works. So the way I'm going to try to do this video is I'm going to show you how I do the marks. I use a pencil on this, and then I will try to get some of the cutting in. And what I use to cut, this is the really scary part. I don't have a CNC machine. So we use a Dremel. And this bit I got from a friend of mine who's a dental technician. And so this is what he uses with his air-powered rotary tool in the lab against dentures and bridges and stuff like that to do custom work. So he gave these to me. I've got a full set of them, but I like it because it's tapered at the end, so I can do big work with the bottom of it and then fine work at low speeds with the top of it. And it actually cuts instead of melts like some of the other Dremel bits. But if you don't have a dental technician friend who has these, who can give them to you, just use the a small Dremel cutting bit from Lowe's or Home Depot or Amazon or Walmart or wherever you get your rotary tools from. Those will work just fine. Just do it at a lower speed and go slowly so you don't melt the plastic. That's really lame. You don't want to melt it. You want to cut it. So I will try to get that in the video so you can see how that looks. But just know this part's scary. You got to use a Dremel. You got to do it by hand unless you have a CNC machine and you can do all that math. Good on you. But I don't. So I've done it this way for 40 or 50 mods now. That's how many of these I've done. Ish. I have to look at my email to get the exact math on it. But anyways. So let's mark this. So like I said, the switch is up. Razer likes to do it like this. Razer likes to do it so that, so that this is up, which is stupid. Doesn't make any dang sense. So I change it so that this is up, roughly along the edge of this button, because this guy's sitting like this, and your thumb comes over, right? So up is roughly along the edge of that button. That's how I do these, unless someone specifically requests a different orientation. I specifically do it so that up is kind of this-ish direction. So that means, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this part. I may just have to pull it off camera and mark it that way. But I like to get it in there so you can see the switch button, which is quote-unquote up, roughly oriented in that direction. And I just kind of tweak it a little bit and get it close. Get it centered. And I got to look at it for my sake. And then I'll show you once I mark it. So you get that stick centered in there. That's pretty good right there. That's pretty good. You just kind of hold it in place, do some gymnastics with your hand, sleight of hand, and literally you just mark the edges, the bounds, with a pencil. Wow, thank you, headphone cable. That was so kind of you. Now it's going to do it over and over again. Let's put it up under there. There we go. And then the same for this stick on the bottom. This potentiometer. So you just mark the boundary. See if this will show up on camera. There it is. You see them. Yeah, so with the Dremel, I'm going to cut that out and that out. Let me color it in. That, oop, come on, light. That and that. And that will get your stick aligned up against the edge of that button. And there's no easy way to explain how to do it. Like I said, I'm going to try to show you. No promises. But it's best to go set your rotary tool, your Dremel, whatever you use, at this as slow as a speed as you can stand. Because you go slower, it'll take longer. Because again, don't melt the plastic. Cut it. Don't melt it. Having said that again, cut away less than you've marked. A lot less. And then try to fit it. Try to fit it in. So that's how you do it. You cut a little bit then you try to fit it. You cut a little bit, try to fit it, and you cut away a teeny tiny amount each time until it fits through. That way, you don't end up with that will minimize how nasty it ends up looking. If you don't care about cosmetics and you just want it to go in there, then just, by all means, cut away. But if you want it to look good, take your time, go slow, cut away a little bit, fit it. Cut away a little bit, try to fit it. The best I can tell you. I've done enough of these that I've gotten reasonably good at it. But yeah, it's still scary every single time. These are $100+ devices. They're not mine. Someone's sending this to me to mangle up. It feels wrong. It feels wrong on the inside to cut it, but it can be done, and it can be very, very functional. So we'll get there. I'll show you. I'm going to stop this video here, and I'm going to try to get some of the dremeling or all of it as much as I can on camera. No sound because it's loud, and I'll join it with this on the back end of it, and then we'll come back and I'll show you the finished result once it's fitted, and we'll be good. All right, catch you later. All right. So that only went okay. That's about as good as it can look. I've done better, and I've done a lot worse. So that's in there now. The next step, the next video will be on reassembly. Maybe mounting and reassembly, or maybe just mounting. But the next step is to, where is it? Is to take this PCB, which is what the old D-pad was on, and you remount it in here. And now that this stick is pushed up through the hole, this will mount on its original screw posts, which is your goal. And I'll show you what's involved in that. Basically, it's just more sleight of hand and hot glue. Hot glue because it comes off, it's not permanent, and it holds well enough for this purpose. In case you want to change the stick out or do other things, you can just dunk it in alcohol and it'll melt that hot glue right off, and you can, do stuff at that point. Anyways, so that's in there. I'll do another video soon on how to mount it and then reassemble all this and then test it, and then it'll be back in the mail. And we'll be good. Hope this helps you.